The plot of Sly Cooper and the Thevious Raccoonus Unscripted. Spoilers, obs, go! So the game begins and Sly's like doing like flips and shit and like all over Paris, and he also breaks someone's chimney, but it's cool because he like goes like onto like the side of the building, and you see him show up, and when Sly jumps onto like a rooftop, Bentley's all like Sly, and then like Sly's just like, oh my god, I have to deal with this shit, and then he goes around breaking more shit until he figures out to do shit, and then he does more shit on shit with shit to break into Inspector Fox's place, and at there, he sneaks in through the window, as always, and then when he tries to get away with the file, she's all like, you there, Cooper, I've seen you, I fucking know. Then she tries to shoot her with the electrical pistol thingy, and then she misses a lot. And then he drives away with Murray in the van. And yeah, there's this purple hippo named Murray. After Sly gets away from Carmelita, he now talks about his past. And let me tell ya, Sly ain't just your run-of-the-mill raccoon thief hanging around Paris with a turtle and a hippopotamus. No. You see, his family dates back all the way to the caveman times. And his family is known for stealing from other thieves, because that is kind of fun if you think about it, which you don't really have to. So, and they all taught each other with one single solitary item, the Thevious Raccoonus, a book passed down from generation to generation, each telling them their own stories, their own techniques. And when Sly's father was about to give him his book, 5 visitors showed up, and they tore the whole entire place up. Sly's father, even though they hid inside the closet, hid Sly inside the closet, Sly's father was killed on sight. And they took the Thevious Raccoonus and they tore up into 5 pages, spreading their own evil across the land. And since Sly didn't have a mother, he was just dumped at an orphanage where he met his 2 best buddies, Bentley and Murray. Bentley's the thinker of the group, and he does all the problem solving, and Murray, in this game, he's just the doer. And now that they got this own gang on their side, Sly's gonna avenge his family and gonna steal back all the pages of Thevious Raccoonus, even if he dies. So they go off in search of the first member of the Phoenix Five, Sir Raleigh the Fraud. And let me tell ya, Sir Raleigh, when he was young, he was all rich and shit, but he got bored of that, and then he became a pirate by using his inventions and whatnot. And the Phoenix Five picked him up, and then made him chief inventor. And then he left and created the Welsh Triangle. And, well, I mean, they didn't say it, but anyway. Then when Sly lands in Wales, he notices a giant blip spewing out water, causing all the bad weather to erupt in Wales. And then Sly gets a master key, he opens up a door, and then he goes into the next part, which has an electric gate, and he needs 2 whole master keys in order to unlock that gate. He gets 2 whole master keys to unlock that gate, and he goes through the tunnel, and then he needs to be shot out of cannon to go inside the hideout that Raleigh's in. Oh yeah, by the way, the blimp is a hideout. I forgot to mention that. And then he gets all 7 of the master keys and shoots himself out of cannon, and he goes inside Raleigh's lair, and Raleigh's all like, "Company! I hate company." And Sly kicks his ass, and then he gets paired for Ryuichi, and then Carmelita busts his ass, and then we go on to the next stage. Up next is the next member of the Fiendish Five, Mugshot. And when he was a young lad, he was everyone's bit, and then he was beaten up by everyone, and then when he got tired of that, he decided to watch a whole bunch of gangster movies like The Dogfather, which is a real thing in this world, and then he wanted to become a gangster, so he got big and strong, and he beat the shit out of every single one of them, and then he became a gangster, and then he took over all of Mesa City and put a fire hydrant on top of one of the casinos. And then when Sly shows up, he goes around Mesa City realizing that it's empty, and then he gets a master key, and then he goes into the main area, and then he finds out that he needs to get a car to crash into the building. Dick move. And then he goes through all sorts of fun little challenges, like being on a giant roulette table, or having Murray compete in a race, even though he loses over and over and over again. And then he gets the car to crash into the building, which is apparently for my frustrations for that racing part. Anyway, and then he goes inside the casino, and then the only way to get in is through an elevator that looks exactly like Mugshot's head, and he gets more master keys, and one of them is where Carmelita's on at a construction yard or rooftop, I don't care, and then Carmelita's all like, I'm not doing Carmelita's voice again, it was a piece of crap, and then Sly sends her off on a balloon. And then he faces off with Mugshot, and he realizes that Sly was the one right behind it, and he's after that Thevious Raccoonus. And then they fight with crystals and fire and guns and chandeliers, and then Sly beats him, and then Mugshot gets defeated, and he gets arrested by Carmelita, and we go. Oh, and there's also Tennessee Kid Cooper, which the rail lock and the rail slide, and then they actually do go on to the next episode. Yeah. So they go off to Haiti to face against the third member of the Fiendish Five, Mz.Ruby. And believe in me, you don't want to be you, if you know what I'm saying. Because when she was young, nobody wanted to be friends with her because she played with dead bodies, which is kind of fair. And then she got all sad, and then started robbing banks with corpses and whatnot. I mean, wouldn't you do the same thing? And then Sly shows up, and then he goes through swamp, fire jet ski, swamp with the snake, chicken coop, swamp, turn jet ski, and swamp, and then he had to go onto a cauldron and go inside the giant dragon head that is in her lair, and they have a little scuffle, and then she challenges him to a game which just kind of goes like boo 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 boo, and then Sly beats her, and then he gets the invisibility technique, and then they go off to the next chapter. Okay, so now they just go off to China and face off with the Panda King. And when he was a young lad, he loved fireworks so much, he spent a whole 10 years trying to perfect it, but his fireworks were shit, and then he exacted his revenge by blowing up everything else. And then Sly shows up in China, and then he walks around, and then he sees a ginormous temple of the Panda King himself. He could be anywhere! And then, like, he sees a firework coming out, and then it hits a mountain, and then a whole entire avalanche comes down, and then kills all those people on sight. Anyway, and then Sly goes to place, and he turns invisible, then he goes to place, and then he goes and fight Monkey, and fights other Monkey, and then he goes to other place, and then Murray races 198 retarded frozen monkeys, and then Sly fights another monkey, and then he meets up with Carmelita, and then Carmelita's all like, you're the one behind all this, aren't you, Sly? And then Sly's like, really? And then Sly goes off, and then there's the turn jet ski, which turns out that that's like the same one as before, only that it's not. And there might be some connection to this. And then Sly goes off to panicking, and then panicking all like, "Are you here for revenge?" And then Sly's like, "No, you're just fucking insane." And then Panicking tries to kill him with Flame Fu, which has fireballs, fiery wheels, the moving chop, fiery wheels, palms of thunder, fiery wheels, and then Panicking all like, and then Sly gets Page of Autovane Cooper, and then he gets all the upgrades, and to the van, and then Carmelita comes in, and then busts in Panicking's ass, and then Benlick figures out that the metal that's used for the turn jet ski turns out to be from the Krakatoa volcano in Russia. So off they go.